And we're live. Okay. Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy. And the part of Mr. Magazine today, it takes two people to play Mr. Magazine. Why don't you introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Hey guys, I'm Johnny, 1/3 of the Finders Flippers Resell podcast, 1/2 of Frizzy's Finds, and just a small part of the $1 Million Peddlers.
There you go.
And I'm Stuart, another 1/3 of the Finders Flippers Resell podcast, also known as Franklin Hill Ventures. So appreciate you having us on, David.
Oh, of course. Great to have you aboard. And we've had you on. It was 5 months ago. I was just looking at the thumbnail a little earlier. It's been 5 months since your last appearance.
Wow.
It does not seem that long whatsoever. And hopefully everybody could check out their channel. We did put the link over there. Let's say hi to everybody over here. Don. I'm sure you know Don. Sturt.
Hey, Don.
Hello, Sturt. Is Wes too good for us? I only see Johnny and Stuart in the thumbnail. Well, Wes is a diva. Mr. Magazine's a diva. What are you going to do? They're the talent and they know it. That's what it comes down to. So
that's it.
And thank you for being a member.
Wes's view fees went up too high.
And hello, Nanette. Flippin'Roo. Thank you for being a member. Stuart, Letterkenny reference. No, I think isn't that the way, what's his name? Wes says Stuart. Hello, Jeff. Welcome in. Oh, Finders Flippers Resell podcast is here as well. Good to see you. Antiquarian. And there we go. I think you know Schmidt Auctions, Franklin Hill.
We do. Hey, Marla, Dan, whoever that might be.
And thank you for being a member. Dave's Odds and Ends. Super See the Lights. Lewis Riley. Yuck day today in the middle of Canada. Take off, Yeah, but you can always have a little Tim Hortons and everything's good again. You can grow your mullet. Hello, Adrian. Thank you for being a member. Yeah, you too. You're growing yours too there.
I'm working on it.
Hello, Mr. Hot Wheels. Hello, Periwinkle Dreams. And thank you for being a member. Fossil Forward Finds. And there's your link right there. Don't check it out now, please. There. Yeah, Wes says Sturt because of his accent. There you are. And we're going to start this out with how sales are. Mr. Magazine did phone in just before. He said eBay has basically doubled since the election has been over. So he's very, very happy with that. He sells a lot of the adult DVDs over at the site, and he said he's shipping out 135 adult DVDs today. So that's something we all need to be looking into, I think, in order to sell. But otherwise, he's doing real well. He's over at a trade show today, IMS. Have you ever heard of that? No, it's the barter. So the businesses, it's like a big barter system where you pay to be part of it, and then people buy stuff from you, and then you get barter points that you can then spend at other businesses and all that. So it's one of those kind of deals. Yep. And some reason mullets are a thing. Some people, they never went out of style, Don. They never went out of style. And how are your sales, Johnny?
They've been steady. We were talking before, we do predominantly clothing, so we don't see a huge summer slowdown, and we don't see much of a pickup in Q4 either. So steady does it.
There you go. And you, Stuart?
Yeah, kind of ditto to what Johnny said. I don't sell a lot of clothes, but with the kind of stuff I sell, I mean, it seems like it's pretty steady year round. I have noticed the last couple of weeks, and part of it's because I've been putting a focus on listing more expensive things, but I've definitely had some higher dollar sales as I try to increase my ceiling that I can get to. And, it's
roughly how many items do you have up, Stuart?
I have about 1,250, I think.
Okay.
And of course, that's spread across, or not spread across. I mean, I do cross posts. So there's 1,250 on eBay and then probably slightly less on the other platforms that I sell on. So.
Okay. And how about you, Johnny?
We're at about 1,500.
All right. I'm a little bit higher. Or at 25,000 on eBay and 20,000 on Amazon and whatever on the other sites. And I don't do any cross posting at this point. There we go. Was a good last week, but this week is slow. There you go. Hello, Kelly. Sales are usually slow in the mornings and make up for it in the evening. Still a roller coaster. Went from a drip to a wide open fire hose. Wow.
Ooh. Smoke if you got them.
Hey, welcome in, Amazon seller.
Oh, I will say real quick, David, where I do notice the Q4 bump more than I do with my own lines at my booths. So I have 3 booths, for those of you who don't know, here in the Knoxville area. And this month's definitely been good. I mean, I've noticed a big increase in sales. I guess people doing their Christmas shopping in the stores. So that's definitely, and I look forward to December probably being just as good or better.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I have tried that route a couple of different times. You may already know this, but if you don't, Stuart, this may help you at some point. You have to add inventory from time to time.
Oh, really?
I know. It's shocking. I just thought you could just put stuff out and it would just automatically just sell and more inventory would show up, and it does not work that way.
And people do ask me sometime what's the most important thing. I mean, adding inventory is important, but even if you don't add inventory, just moving stuff around is just as important. I've had stuff, you move it from this shelf to that shelf and it sells. So,
and I was at both times. I was at little antique malls. One was 1.5 miles from my house. One was 1 mile from my house. And if I got up there once a month, that was a lot. I just could never bring myself to do it. I just hated doing it. And I ended up basically paying them to give stuff away. It was more or less the way it ended up happening. I think you were paying like $35 a month and I was doing, $28 a month in sales. And at some point I said, yeah, this isn't a very good business plan.
You had a $7 storage unit. That's what you had.
That's true. That's true. And now that you put it that way, maybe I'll go up there and run about 15 boots from them and just put all my stuff in the garage out there. My peaks are shorter than my valleys. Yeah, unfortunately. In sales, you pervs. Oh, yeah, well, nobody said anything, Don. Jeez. My sales are going well enough, and I've kind of noticing the same thing you are there, Stuart. I'm moving up the chain a little bit in the value of the stuff that I'm listing, and volume-wise, I'm selling a little less, but I'm selling a little bit better items, and that's actually a better way to do it when you get down to it, because you do less packing and you get the same amount of money coming in. So there is a positive for that. The negative of it is if you have 50,000 items listed and 100,000 unlisted items, you're not moving much inventory as far as making room. So that is the downside of that.
So are you pretty much paper only on your online sites as well, David?
99.5% paper, 99.8, something rather like that. Yeah. Yep. I mean, occasionally I'll pick something up, not paper, if I know it, or if it just ends up like in a box that I buy. That has happened. And unfortunately, a couple of years ago, my aunt passed and I got a whole bunch of stuff from her estate. And there was a lot of stuff in there which actually will sell. Her kitchen cupboard was like a Piggly Wiggly from 1968 that had never changed. She had all this old food and all the old Jello packets, all this old stuff, and I know that stuff sells. I just got to get around to listing it. But maybe either of you know. Do you know the legality of selling that, like with the sites and everything?
Like expired food?
We're talking like 40 years, 50-year expired food. I mean, obviously nobody's going to eat it, I hope.
I mean, I would think things like Jello and things like that would probably be okay. I mean, if you're listing in a collectibles category, especially, I don't know that for sure. I know like just the empty boxes on things like that can sell as well. There may be a premium if it's still, like if you had a can of sardines from the 50s.
Yeah, I would definitely put disclaimers on her. Oh, trust me, she had those back in the day. She had stuff from the 50s when we used to, stay over at her house all the time. When it was the 70s, and when you start seeing the bubbling cans.
I thought with like old cereal and things like that, people like collected the Wheaties boxes but left the cereal inside. I thought you had to list it as just the box, but kind of like.
I know people do that with the Jim Beam decanters and everything, but that's a whole nother issue just because they don't have the proper licenses to sell them and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I don't really know on that over there. Maybe somebody else
Could
knows.
you imagine just running a whole eBay business and then you get shut down for old Jell-O?
eBay standard envelope has been killing me. 3 a week go missing. Ouch. See, now I don't use that.
Something tells me selling an empty Jim Beam decanter is a lot more risky than selling an empty cereal box. But,
that's probably true. A Whatnot ad just popped up in the video, sponsored by Whatnot. Canada Post is set to strike on Friday. Oof. New eBay ad was followed by an Etsy ad. Makes me wonder if eBay will ever buy Etsy. God, I hope not. Well, there you go.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I mean, they're two very different platforms and the way I list and sell on them, and I do well on both of them. But I would not want Etsy to become, eBayified or whatever the word would be there.
No, absolutely. Yeah. It's a whole different way of. I mean, I sell over there as well, and at this point, I figured out what I can sell over there, all paper, but. Like today, I'll tell you something that's sold over there today. You've probably heard of Jewel, the singer.
Yeah.
A piece of her sheet music sold over there today. So that's the kind of stuff that'll sell over there for me, sheet music and playbills and stuff like that. So that's what I list over there.
Do you sell on Etsy, Johnny?
No.
So for the stuff you list on Etsy, do you ask a premium, Dave?
No, not really.
Etsy's where I run my highest margins, but because like I do free shipping on every platform, I do free shipping on eBay, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. I just work it into the cost. Etsy, I do calculated shipping, but still run at about the same price that I'm running, on the other platforms. And then, of course, Poshmark's its own beast when it comes to shipping. You don't have an option to do well. I guess you can do free shipping and offers, but so yeah, right now I love it when I still sell stuff on Etsy because I'm definitely getting a premium price for things on there.
So what is it with Etsy? We don't use it, but if I look something up, like I Google Lens something, and I get a listing from Etsy, it's like double. what it is selling for anywhere else.
Yeah, it's just it's a little bit, I guess, more upscale crowd, I think, in general. Mm-hmm. You just have to make everything yourself. So, I spent a ton of time yesterday spinning this ball. No, really, it can be anything handmade or anything on it's like a running 20-year vintage cycle. So I think right now it's anything before 2005.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, before 2005, which that's in no way sounds vintage to me, but the rule's the rule. So, it's just a little bit. I mean, you might want to look at if you do have vintage clothes, Johnny, you may want to look at listing stuff on Etsy because you can get a little bit more money than you possibly can. The downsides, you have the 20 cents per listing fee. So you just kind of have to work. So like I know some people who cross post everything but Etsy. Then after a week, cross post Etsy just to see if it sells. I just cross post at the same time and just look at the 20 cents. It's like a cost of doing business.
Gotcha. Well, we do need something to replace that Depop loss. So maybe
both sales.
Yeah,
both Depop sales.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know what he's talking about, their last video they were talking about being deplatformed. I think that's the word I did use from Depop. But no, I'll tell you another thing that sells over at Etsy, Stuart, are things like art books, woodworking books, how-to quilt books, that kind of stuff. And so if you go over to a library sale, especially on bag day, you can find a lot of that stuff. So I just filled a bag up and it's like, I just filled a bag up of stuff for $5. I'm going to sell it over on Etsy because it's the kind of things that would sell over on Etsy.
Gotcha.
So that's what you learn after a while over there. Promoted listings, 19 out of 44 last week were promoted, so we're going about 40%. Offers, 102 old offers, 272 total offers. Last week, I had 375 offers that I was able to make to watchers. But last year, 117 and 118 2 years ago. So basically in a year, we've gone from having 117 offers that we can make to watchers to 272. And I think a lot of that is just now that I'm retired, I'm listing a lot more stuff. And I think that definitely, I think listing 20 some items a day, guess what? Get more people by more traction, basically, is what it comes down to on that. And did sell 2 items over on $1 Million Peddlers, one of which over on eBay, one of which I offered on Whatnot and nobody wanted it. 3 items on Etsy. There you go. There's my Etsy sales for you. 3 items last week. And 1 item on Biblio. So that site is starting to heat up a little bit. That's 1 item a month I'm selling over there too. That was interesting. I sold a book over on Biblio, and apparently I had it set up where I was giving a discount to dealers, but I didn't realize this. Dealer bought it. Well, then all of a sudden I didn't have to pay any commission on it. So a dealer-to-dealer transaction, you don't pay any commission on. So it kind of makes up the difference in the price. I said, well, there we go. Can't argue with that. How about buying anything? Anybody out there buying? How about you two? You two been buying anything?
Oh yeah, it seems to come in waves for me. It's Amy was just, we got Thanksgiving coming with family, so we're trying to get the house cleaned up, and I had like 6 people call me to come look at stuff, which you can't turn it down. But and then I got a whole load of consignment stuff yesterday, which I've started doing a little more consignment. Just it's kind of a no risk, but I did pick up like. This was in the list of consignment things, the Crazy Daisy Pyrex bowls. That's $120 right there at the booth. And then, so yeah, and then I've hit some really killer estate sales here recently. So.
And you, Johnny?
Yeah, we just do our normal thrifting. So whether we're going to the Goodwills or Goodwill bins, things like that, we don't do any massive buys or anything like that. We've been traveling a lot lately, so we've missed a lot of estate sales that we like to pop into. But daily thrift stores for sure.
Really, every day.
Every day.
For the paper world, that wouldn't work.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't work for the paper world.
I mean, we went to the same Goodwill twice today, so it's a different world.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'd be like, oh wow, they put 2 new books out. Oh no, they're both terrible. Hello, Linda. Welcome in. I sell vintage cookbooks on Etsy and sewing patterns. There you go.
Yeah, quick question, Don. So on the sewing patterns you sell, are you selling them individually, and are they uncut, or have they been used? I sold a lot of sewing patterns several years ago, and I happened to find kind of a buyout from a store that were all uncut, and those sold well. But I was just curious, how you're getting those out there.
And hello, Slim Flippers. Welcome in. On my buy end,
that's Wes, by the way.
Oh, I did not know. Somebody did say Wes. There you go.
So we better quit saying bad things about him now.
No, we don't have to. He's watching for Rogue. We'll just say, no, it wasn't us. Sell them individually, but I'm too lazy to count the pieces of cut patterns, so I sell uncut. Well, there you go. I did end up going to 2 estate sales last week. One was a local one, and then the one was over in Buffalo. Which,
hey.
West Ferry Street. Are you familiar with that?
Downtown, yes, absolutely.
Right over by, there was a big traffic circle, Main Street, Delaware, and then West Ferry Street. It's kind of a hoity-toity kind of neighborhood nowadays. I don't know if it was when you were there or not, but it's hoity-toity at this point.
Well, that at one point Buffalo had the most millionaires per capita in the nation.
Wow. And then 1822 happened.
That is exactly it.
No, it's a nice little neighborhood over there. A nice house. The big problem with it was, and you're going to laugh about this, Stuart, because you've been around the secondhand trade long enough. Some of the magazines, now they were good magazines, but they were priced at like $65 for a magazine, for like a Vogue magazine and things like that. And the problem was, I talked to a buddy of mine who bought some stuff, got home. Some of them were clipped, which was what we feared. So you're paying good money for cut magazines potentially. Now I spent $135, but I went through and I either bought the new cheap magazines, which I knew weren't cut, or I went through and picked out, like 2 pieces of sheet music that were better, 1 book that was better, 2 of this that was better. So I cherry picked everything throughout on that over there. And if you our members know, we did post 3 videos about that sale, as a matter of fact. So if you are behind the paywall, you got to see it. If you're not, come on back for 1 month, watch that video, and then watch the other ones as well. And then just quit go over to Popeyes, join his for a month, and then quit and come back over. So there we go. Make everybody happy. How did you end up doing, Stuart, over at the was it Paperpalooza?
Yeah, I did okay. I think I finished it $110, then plus 1 sale that some deadbeat didn't pay for.
We're going to talk about that later. There's a big problem that we're having with deadbeats all over the place. I ended up with 150, so I was happy about that.
Yes, so for an hour show, I guess 110's not too bad. And
no, not bad at all.
It was mostly stuff. Well, I bought a few, decent things, but a lot of it's stuff that I probably would not have been able to sell just listing it online somewhere. So,
yeah. Oh, and thank you for being a member, Metal for Gemini, and his sales are a black Bloyd vomitorium. I don't believe that's good. And I was supposed to have a buy today. Some guy called me. I put him off 1 week, and I was supposed to see him this week. He's supposed to have playbills, and then I call him to set it up, and he goes, well, my daughter's got a doctor's appointment. I'm like, we can reschedule another week. Not a problem. I said, I don't think I'll run out of things to list over the next week. If I have 100,000 back stock right now, I think I should be good for 1 more week. Now we got some glitches going on over here. Did you see this, Stuart? In order to get a 1099 from Whatnot, you have to hook up Stripe, which I never had Stripe hooked up before over there. I did everything PayPal. But my question was, how is that legal given that they have to issue a 1099 anyway?
Yeah.
Well, Whatnot's not the payment processor. It's, so it's not Whatnot issuing the 1099. It's whoever does their payment processing, and Stripe's who does their payment processing. So that's why you, so you just cashed out with PayPal though?
Yeah. But they said that if you hooked your Stripe up, then you would get the PayPal numbers included on your 1099.
Yeah, because I think, and I could be wrong about this, somebody can correct me in the chat, but like all the payment processing behind the scenes, like you getting it into your Whatnot account is done by Stripe. So that's actually who's processing all the payments made to you. And then, when you cash out to PayPal, that's just a money move from like one account to another. So you've already made the money and been processed by Stripe. So that's why you have to, I guess, sign up with for the Stripe account so they can hook your personal Stripe account to theirs to give you your 1099. But I've always done Stripe, and I like Stripe because the payouts are like almost, they're very, very quick. So,
well, I had a little bit of a problem. This was a scary glitch. So I hooked my Stripe up to it. And then I went in to set up a show, a few hours later, next day, whatever it was, I went to set up a show, and I click on the little plus on the phone that you set up a show, and it says, so you want to sell on Whatnot? I'm like, well, yeah. And then it says, oh, will you be primarily buying or selling? I'm like, selling? And then it goes, what other venues do you? I go, what the heck? So basically it was because I was kind of in limbo, it was treating me like a new user, and it wanted to say how much sales they had done elsewhere and all this kind of stuff. And I go, wait a minute, did they take my account down? What the heck's going on? So then I went on the phone, there's a backdoor way in to look at the seller dashboard, had all my shows set up already. And I go, no, I'm still up and running. And then there was a way to schedule a show off of that. So that's what I ended up doing. But I was S-ing bricks, we could say, as far as that goes. I'm like, what is going on with this?
I think I had that happen one time on Whatnot, and I just logged out and logged back in, and everything was fine. So I don't.
Well, there is that solution as well. But it doesn't make for nearly as good of a show. I had this terrible problem, and I logged out, and then it worked. And then apparently, according to e-commerce bites, eBay sort by lowest price is not sorting by lowest price. So people are getting upset over that. They're trying to do a sort, and they're seeing what they think is the lowest prices, and it's actually not. And a lot of us sellers, now you got to realize over on e-commerce bites, sellers are angry to start with. I don't know if you guys go on there or not, but no, yeah, the angriest of the angry over there, which is why I'm over there. And they're saying, yeah, people are going to get upset because they bought something they thought was the lowest price, and then they find out that it really wasn't, and then they're going to get mad at people. So, but it shouldn't be that hard programming. I mean, you know, I can remember back to first grade, it was this and this. It was the alligator and the bird, and you could tell which one was greater and which one was less than. Apparently, you guys didn't have the alligator and the bird back then.
No, that was not. This was new. I was today years old when I found that out.
Yeah, because the alligator mouth is this way and the bird's beak is this way. See? Oh. Crazy things they taught us back in Cleveland. I'm going to have you guys take a guess over here. Goldmine Magazine. Are you familiar with that?
No.
We need to expand our horizons.
Yeah,
I see this.
Is this a bird and alligator related magazine?
Goldmine is actually for record collectors. Goldmine Magazine for record collectors. Issue 656, September 16th, 2005. John Mayall, Anne Murray, Lou Christie. Okay.
Okay.
Listed it over in the magazine section, music, all that. Take a guess what the was the suggested item specific for the genre topic. I forget which one of those two. Take a guess what they guessed. Now it's a record music magazine.
So what are we guessing here? The genre of the music of Lou Christie and
No. What the item specific suggestion from eBay was. What they suggested that I listed as for the genre / topic.
Ooh. I mean, Anne Murray, did it push some kind of a international Canadian thing?
Not a bad guess, but no.
Did it come up as coin collectibles?
Came up as software.
Oh.
I was going to say weather vanes since Lou Christie sang the Lightning Strikes song.
Oh, look at you dropping nuggets of knowledge right there. Yeah, it came up with software. Somehow or other, that is software. I don't understand that. And then I listed a hunting catalog over on eBay. And I don't know if you were aware of this. You can list vintage hunting and fishing items over in the sporting good category. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't know.
You could go in the sporting good category, hunting, vintage, and then there's a catalog or a magazine section over there as well. And you can do new, used, or for parts or not working. Which is how I sell most of my catalogs. Kind of crazy. What are your opinions of the new messaging over on eBay?
You talking about just like the format of it? Or?
Yeah, the whole new format they just did. Yeah.
I mean, I did notice like they finally, you can look at a whole message thread in one, view. But I had a hard time finding out how to send an offer through a message today. It seems to have disappeared. But I mean, the messages I've sent, it's been fine. I haven't noticed a huge difference.
Yeah, have I not gotten that update yet?
Oh, well, pray you don't. It's annoying. Maybe it's a setting on my computer, but every time I click on a message, it opens up another tab. And I'm like, I don't want 17 tabs. I really don't want 17 tabs.
Mine's not doing that. Oh. I don't think.
eBay might just be annoying me.
I only use the desktop version for printing labels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see. And the one problem that I find, the app is absolutely worthless for me. When you get up to the number of items that I have, and certainly for Mr. Magazine, with him having 250,000 items, the app just is not meant to handle large stores. It just isn't.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I can't do very much on the app. I keep getting errors. It keeps airing out on things. Can't load. I'm like, oh yeah, this app is really good for me.
Even if it worked, I wouldn't be able to see it. Johnny's still got young eyes.
I had to pay for these ones.
Had a little bit of a problem last week over on StreamYard. Went to log in, and it said that there was it had to reconnect to our account over here, and we had 2,170 days to log in and get it connected, or else we were going to lose our privileges.
Ooh.
So nothing like a little bit of advance notice. Mr. Magazine's looking at me and goes, "That's like 7 years." I go, "Yeah, we'll get working on that." I logged in this week and it was working. And so I said, "Okay, I guess we fixed that problem." And then Mrs. Papergoy over on Amazon. Do either of you sell over on Amazon?
Mm-mm.
I have an account, but I haven't listed anything in forever.
Mrs. Papergoy sells about 3 to 5 items a year over there. She got that whole thing that her account is suspended pending her verification of identity. I go, she's selling 3 to 5 items a year. So I had to pull out the driver's license, had to pull out her bank account statement, had to do all that, send it all in. They need her business number. I'm like, she doesn't have a business number. She's selling 5 items a year. Really? I mean, if there's a casual seller, that's a casual seller. But I filled everything out and put it through. And then this morning I was able to log in, no problem. So who knows? And then what do you feel about the new eBay thing where they're trying to cut down on the unpaid bidders? Okay. Yep. That's about it.
I don't enjoy it. And it's actually very confusing.
Yes.
Especially when you cross post, it's, it's the fact that, you don't know if they're going to buy it or not. They've gone to like Macari and all those used to be where you send an offer and they had 24 hours to, accept it. Or I guess Depop was like that.
So we had something where somebody sent us an offer on a pair of shorts, and we accepted the offer. And of course, when they don't pay right away, it just kind of goes into oblivion now. Like there's no waiting for payment section. It just is. And so we were like, oh, okay, I guess they changed their mind. They didn't want it. Well, this morning, the same person sent the same offer for the same pair of shorts, which we then accepted again. That just went into oblivion. But when you go into pending, there's both of their offers just sitting there as awaiting payment.
And the problem that I've had, and this has happened twice in the last 2 days, is I have some original artwork that I'm selling. Mr. Syverson, I actually bought it from his grandson. He published a bunch of stuff, Saturday Evening Post and various things like that. And a person went and bid or made offers on 3 of them. One of them sold, immediately sold, said, your item is sold. The other 2 were pending. Today, a different person made offers on 2 of them. One of them sold, one of them was pending. Well, the problem is you cannot combine shipping at that point. So what you got to do, and what I did, is you got to reach out to the buyer and say, I will refund shipping. One is already showing up as sold. The other 1 or 2 are not sold yet officially. Click on it, pay for them, and I will refund you tomorrow. And it's a lot of extra work that I shouldn't have to do.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is, why is it that one sells and one is pending from the same buyer?
Well, I don't understand why they made these changes right after they finally, after years of everybody asking for it, got the immediate payment thing worked out pretty well. I mean, 99% of the offers I was getting, the payment was immediate. It would tell you when it accepted it, this is going to be paid for immediately. Then they throw this in there, and it's like, you fix the other issue. Why have you now gone to where they have whatever amount of time to decide if they want to buy it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, if somebody's making offers on 3 of them and one of them sells immediately, he probably wants the other 2, and he's probably doing it in order to get combined shipping.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to head on into the item of the week this week over here. And this just goes to show you that you can find items at an estate sale beyond the first day. So this was a few weeks ago. There was an estate sale that I ended up buying a lot of concert tickets at and backstage passes. Long story short, you guys probably missed that episode because you're so busy. But they had it up. The sale started on Thursday, and Friday was 25% off, and Saturday was 50% off. Well, I reached out to the estate sale person Saturday morning before the sale opened and said, do you still have backstage passes and concert tickets? And do you have room to make a deal with me? Yes. I said, all right, I'll be there. I show up. I grab both bins off of the table, went right up to him. He gave me a price on them. I ended up paying just over $1 a ticket is what I ended up paying for him. Well, this was sitting in there. This one right over here was sitting in there, priced at $15. Which means it would have been $11.30 day two, et cetera, et cetera. Sam Kinison concert ticket signed.
Oh, wow.
Signed Sam Kinison ticket. The gentleman who had the sale was a roadie, so his stuff was all good. Obviously, cool. He worked at that. I did a little research when I got home. Sam Kinison autographs, they're like $200. So this is like a $200 ticket that had been sitting there at $15 day one and then $11 day two. So 2 full days of sale. Nobody wanted a $200 ticket. And I ended up getting it for $1, $1.25, whatever it was. So awesome. Just goes to show, though, that good things are still at sales after day one, day two, day three. And that's kind of why I have taken to at this point when able to do so, buying the estate sales out of paper. Coming near the end of the last day, saying how much for all the paper that's left. Yeah, because stuff like that slips through the cracks. It just really, truly does.
And he's been gone for a long time now too. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. He really had a pretty short window that he would have signed autographs because he got big really quick and then died real young. So,
and not to speak ill of the dead, but how often in a given day was he in any state to sign an autograph? You've got that as well, as far as that goes. Yeah. And how much access would a normal fan have to get to him too? Who knows? Yeah. So it could be a difficult autograph because of all that. But like I said, it was sitting out there, and I know it was a legit autograph because again, the guy was a roadie, so the stuff he's got is going to be good on that. Insulting offer of the week. Mr. Magazine had a 1989 Bowman Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card wanting $9. You got a $3 offer. Gotta love those offers. I had Michael Jordan, 2 pages of original artwork of him that was published in a comic book. So original comic book art. I was asking $225 free shipping. A guy offered $50. It's like, dude, you're getting 2 pieces of original artwork, published artwork of Michael Jordan with free shipping. No, I paid more than $50 for it. No, I can't do that deal for you. And then I had a book today I was asking $92 on. Guy offered $40. I came back at $80. I hate playing that game. I came back at $80. He comes back at $45 or $50. I came back at $68. I said, this is the best that I can do. He comes back at like $54. I said, no, that was the best I could do. He ended up buying it at the price. He goes, well, I don't like the shipping price and the tax. I'm like, I have nothing to do with either of those.
Nothing to do with it.
I'm not making any money off that. But he ended up buying it. Countfield to Brimfield. Have either of you two been to Brimfield before?
Nope.
We know that, Don. But A, it would take away from the show. And B, the minimum offer I would take today may not be the same minimum offer I'll take 12 years from now. So that's the thing with long tail. I want to go to Brimfield in the spring, but in order to do so, I have to clean up the mess a little bit. We actually made a little bit of progress this week. So believe it or not, we are a little bit closer to going to Brimfield than we were last week at this time. And we're going to head on over to the Corn-fucious joke of the week. Now, do either of you guys know Corn-fucious?
Oh. I've heard you tell Corn-fucious jokes before.
I was going to say, I can only imagine.
Well, they're the great comedy act Homer and Jethro. Everybody knows Homer and Jethro. They were actually sponsored by Corn Flakes to do Corn-fucious. And these are Confucius jokes that are especially corny. And so this week's Corn-fucious joke of the week, I'm going to see if you boys can get the answer. What is the definition? Corn-fucious asks, what is the definition of a fishnet?
I have no idea.
I don't even know where to start.
Corn-fucious says a fishnet is many holes tied together with string. That is Corn-fucious' joke of the week. Make sure you stop on by Whatnot 20 minutes past the hour of every show. You'll get another great Corn-fucious joke like that. Now you guys are going to be swinging on by, I would think. Let's see, customer issues. So I sold, do you remember going to the shoe store back in the day? And they may do it still. They probably still do it too. Those old metal things that were like big, and you put your shoe in, you can measure the width and all that. Those, believe it or not, are called Brannick devices, is what they're called. And I actually got a whole bunch of paperwork on Brannick devices. So I sold the brochures and all that. Well, a person bought one and then wanted to return it because obviously I accepted it. I thought I was getting the device. It's like, I have pictures of the brochure open. It weighs 4 ounces, which I think the Brannick device weighs more than 4 ounces, and it's listed in collectibles advertising. So that's one of those you actually absolutely have to accept. Now, I know, Stuart, you were saying over on your show that you might get 3 to 4 returns a year, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. But that was one of the returns, and I also got another return. I actually got 2 in a week, and the other was a 1970s magazine. It wasn't what they thought it was. It's a 1970s magazine. What exactly did you think that it was? So nothing you can do about that. You just accept the returns and move on that. It's kind of crazy as far as that goes, though. But
that is the downside of clothing selling. We probably process 3 returns a week.
Yeah, no, 2 in a week. That hasn't happened in years. It really has not happened in years. And then you're always worried that eBay is going to ding you for that too. You've always got that in the back of your mind. Gee, I got 2 returns open. It's like, well, people are idiots.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is anybody who's savvy knows, like for clothing, for instance, right? If they put doesn't fit, we'll accept their return, but we don't do free returns. But if they put item not as described, even though it's just a fit issue, then it's auto going to hit it as returning, paying back their shipping. So people are savvy. We see that with Poshmark too. Like you can't return for fit on Poshmark. So people will like manufacture these pictures so it looks like there's a hole in it, but it's the arm sleeve. And Poshmark. And so we'll get it back and it's fine, but they got to trick them. So.
Yep. And welcome in, Local Joe. Good to see you aboard. Have either of you ever accepted an offer on eBay expecting that it won't get paid?
I mean, sometimes you have, I don't know, really expecting. I mean, there are times, especially if they've messaged you or something.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or, sometimes you might have a weird feeling about something. But, I mean, I can honestly say, I know you get on a lot of the Facebook groups and, the most common answers, block them. You need to block that person. I mean, I can honestly say I've never blocked one person on eBay. Maybe I've just been lucky to this point, but no, I've never not accepted. I mean, I've never really not expected somebody to pay. I'm sure I've had non-payers, but no, I guess no.
Because sometimes
I would say yes, but for your same reason, Stuart, like messages, you get weird messages sometimes.
I bet clothes you get weirder messages too. I mean,
yeah.
That's the one good thing about selling hard goods. I mean, it is what it is. There's no fit issue. I mean, occasionally,
yeah.
I mean, the few returns I have, it'll usually just be, this, I thought this was a different pattern or whatever, but
yeah. We get like, how many times has this been worn? 8? I don't know idea.
You get the messages like, can we see a picture of your wife's feet wearing these?
Yeah. We definitely get a lot of, hey, can you try this on? That's when I put the dress on and send a photo.
I guess every once in a while I get something from somebody with 0 positives, and it's just something, it's a low offer, but it's been sitting out there forever. And I'm like, I don't know if they're really going to buy it or not, but even if they don't pay for it, when I hit relist after they're a deadbeat, it'll still get more traction than it had originally because it's dead on eBay as it is. So even if worst case scenario, it kind of almost like an end and sell similar kind of thing taken care of on eBay's time, not my time, was the way I looked at it.
So
and then go ahead.
Do you actively go look at people's feedback and stuff before you accept offers? Yeah, no. I don't either.
No, not at all.
So
yeah. I was going to say 11,000 people. Yeah, Mr. Magazine actually has to have a special server for all the people he's banned over there. Oh, Stuart, you're still over on Etsy. Can you put advertising in your packaging over there?
I don't know. I used to do thank you cards, but I don't do that. I don't ever put advertising in them, so I don't know if you can or not. I mean, like to advertise like your social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that they have a rule against it.
Well, you can on eBay. You cannot on Amazon. I was unaware on Etsy whether you could or not, and I didn't really want to poke the bear, so I did not do it. I do not do it. And then today, when I logged into my Etsy account, there's a big yellow thing right on my dashboard. And it says, turn your unboxing moment into a memorable experience for buyers with business cards from Staples. Make each package as unique as your shop and keep your buyers coming back. Enjoy 20% off all orders and same-day pickup on orders placed before noon at a store near you. Terms apply. And I said, if Etsy is selling advertising to Staples telling you that you should put business cards in with your sales, I'm thinking that it must be allowed. So now I'm going to begin to do so. And by the way, that was a professional read of the Staples.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
So now we know that. Who'd you guys have on the one day? It was actually an interesting show, and I did reach out to them, but they must know who I am because they have me blocked apparently. I'd flip that. Was that the ones who do the game shows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I reached out to them, but they didn't get back to me. If you guys talk to them, you, us, and Consignment Chats doing Match Game, I think that would be an absolute unbelievable show. The three of us. Stuart's writing that one down. He's going, that would actually be a good show. So if you do talk to them,
Stuart, I like that he said that we actually had an entertaining show.
Yeah, one entertaining show.
So do search out that entertaining show, everybody out there. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I know they were trying to get. I know they kind of went into a lull where they weren't doing all those shows that they were doing, but I think they were trying to bring those back. So.
Yeah, so if you do talk to them, like I said, I think it would be a great show because Consignment Chats are, they're a lot of fun. So it'd be a really fun show. Hey, Triple J, at this point, it'll be easier for me to have an acceptable buyer list instead. There you go. And I spent today, my feet are killing me, putting up Whatnot auctions. I've actually got Whatnot auctions up through the end of Christmas week. And hopefully by the weekend, I'll have all my auctions up for the rest of this year. How far in advance do you schedule though? Well, you only do, you're not doing much anymore.
I really just do. I'm doing Ephemerama next month. And I only do hour shows too. I mean, when they do the 30-minute shows, to juice isn't worth the squeeze to get ready for me anyway. So,
see, I'm doing the Shopaholic. Have you done one of those or not yet?
I did one, and I mean, I did pretty well at it. It's still just, when you got so many irons in the fire with my other online marketplaces and the booths, it's just the amount of time to get ready for Whatnot shows, just not worth it. Other than to do the occasional one every month or two. So
basically, Stuart just said I'm not doing anything. Just for you to know. That's basically what he just said. Hey, did you see that there's a James Bond auction coming up, including Daniel Craig's gray Tom Ford suit from Skyfall is up for sale. $25,000 to $50,000 they expect it. And I know you like dealing in clothing, so that's something rather you can buy. And then I don't know if it's Wes's size or not, but he could wear it in one of the shows.
There we go.
So if he's always wearing a James Bond suit, there's your hook. There's your hook in order to get people.
Yeah. I think 100 views, that's like 15 to 20,000 an episode, right? I think that's what.
I think that math might work. Right. You carry the one and divide. By, yeah. I don't know if you saw this or not at Sotheby's. They actually sold the first artwork made by AI. They for the first time they've sold AI artwork. They were expecting it to go for $120,000. It went for $1 million. So
Wow.
AI artwork.
And who gets that money?
The humanoid robot artist AIDA.
Oh,
AIDA.
You weren't talking about Allen Iverson?
No, I was not. So now the computer can draw better than me and made $1 million. So good for the computer. This one I thought was real interesting. We got to get together and get some money. Did you see the Friars Club in New York City is up for auction?
oh,
Building and contents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As a paper guy,
It'd be awesome.
as a paper guy, I'm looking at that going, can I get together the money to buy the thing? I'll take all the photos down, sell off all the things, give a certificate of authenticity that it came from the Friars Club, and then sell the building back for what I paid for it and make the money off all the contents, because that's where I see the value. So that's kind of crazy. So when you guys have your AI doing the artwork and Wes wearing the James Bond suit, if you can get that done, if you can get that done by Friday. So another thing over there, we were talking about Deadbeat. I heard you had a problem with the Deadbeat over on Whatnot, Stuart. What happened?
Yeah, it sold these stock certificates, and
I like stock certificates.
yeah, and kept saying payment failed, and
really,
I mean, I could not get the person to acknowledge that their payment wasn't going through, and I just chalked it up as a loss. And
do you think the guy was like? Do you think this person was bidding to prank you or something?
I don't know. They were trying to make a bunch of excuses in the chat, but
hey, did you guys see these new stock certificates I got?
Nice. Now, what ended up happening was I actually bid on his auction over there, and as I said, true story, I did cancel the credit card. Long story short, I got a letter from the credit card a month ago that if I wanted paper statements, they were going to charge me $1.50 a month to send me paper statements. I said, I'm not paying $1.50 a month for your credit card. I don't need it. So I canceled the credit card. Well, I forgot that was my credit card on Whatnot. So then all of a sudden, Stuart's like, hey, Deadbeat, your payment bounced. And I go, oh, geez. So and here's what I don't understand. I actually went over and I put in a different credit card that I use for everything else. So I know it was a good credit card. Expiration date was good and everything, but it never went through. But I did it while your show was still going on. So I don't know. And it was showing that I had purchased the item over there. But then after your show ended, it disappeared.
Yeah.
So I thought if you updated your credit card during the show, it would work.
Well, and I have had that happen before, where somebody's payment will fail and then they'll update something and then you'll suddenly see it pop up in green. So I don't know why yours didn't show up. But in the end, David was looking out for me because we did the transaction in Cash App offline, no fees. So,
Not only no fees, you're going to tell them the best part about it?
Oh, then I got $5 for signing up for Cash App with David's referral code.
So you made money.
Needs $5. Sign up for Cash App. Just get in touch with Paperboy up there, and he'll hook you up. So,
oh, thank you, Random Neighborhood Kid. Don't be spending your money. Oh, actually, Random Neighborhood Kid just give us $1.99, knowing full well they'll be taking them out to lunch this weekend. It's going to cost more than $1.99. So, money well spent for him.
David, it is irritating on Whatnot when you do have non-payers. Those items just go off in the never land, kind of like an offer on eBay. I mean, you don't even know that you sold something that they didn't pay for till you go to package stuff up and you go, wonder why I have this item left over here. And then you go try to find it and it's not in your inactive. It's not in your active. It's just nowhere. It's just disappeared. I opened a case with Whatnot about that one time and they said, yeah, we've been told that and we're working on it. And that was like a year ago. So I don't guess they're going to fix it. So,
hey, make sure that you are getting your Christmas items listed. They are selling well. You guys selling? Well, you don't sell a lot of Christmas, Johnny, but Stuart, you selling a lot of Christmas stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I sell Christmas year round. I don't ever really just stockpile stuff to list, but I have sold some Christmas stuff and actually got 2 of the old aluminum Christmas trees, yesterday that one's a 6 foot, one's a 4 foot. I'm gonna take them out to the booth. The 6 foot one, that's about probably a $300 or $400 item there, and then the shorter one maybe 150 or something. So, if you ever see those, that's definitely a bolo. The old aluminum. You got basically you have the Festivus pole, and then you stick the aluminum palms in there. So that's.
I don't know if you saw this or not. A proof 1975 dime that was one of only two known that was made without the S mint mark on it. Sold for $500,000 at auction. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. The guy paid in 1978, 3 years after it came out, he paid $18,000 for it. Put it away in a safety deposit box. Passed away. His family got a hold of it, and he had always said this basically is going to be worth a lot of money someday. And we all have heard that from people that, oh, my dad said this is worth a lot of money. This is the one time that it actually was worth a lot of money. But 18 grand in 1978 was a fair amount of money. That was a fair amount of money back then.
I love Don's tagline on Etsy: "Eclecticus for the rest of us." So.
There you go, ugly Christmas sweaters. There you are. Did you see about
we've sold those? They make the ones that like they have the sports team on them now, and they're like ugly Christmas sweaters, but they're like a sports team. We've actually sold a couple of those in the last week or so.
Oh, I sold Seahawks one of those last year.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see about the Mattel, the big brouhaha going on?
Yeah. Oops.
They had a doll based on the Wicked Witch of Oz. Well, they put the wrong web address on it. They put, it was supposed to be wickedmovie.com, but apparently if you take the word movie out of that, it's a not safe for work site. But I guess they're recalling or they're changing that. So it's going to be one of those things like the My Little Mermaid Disney thing with the dirty thing on it, or the C-3PO card with the dirty thing on it. So if you hear that originals,
those dolls are the #1 selling doll for dads to their daughters for Christmas. I know.
Hey, give the doll to the daughter and you get yourself a code for a website for the dad. So win-win. This could have been a problem with some people's sales today. I don't know if you saw Verizon Fios was down on the East Coast this morning for a few hours. So that's one of the things that you never know if that's going to end up happening or not. And you see TGI Fridays is having some financial trouble. Did you see the problem that they're going to have? They're worried it doesn't have enough cash because there's $50 million of outstanding gift cards, which have no expiration date. So if all of a sudden all of those came out of the woodwork, they got to come up and pony up $50 million worth of food and getting.
I feel like this is something that the internet would get together on. Just for the demise. Like they should not have made that public. I mean, there's going to be a TikTok trend where like just groups of people are going to TGI Fridays.
National Use Your Fridays gift card day.
Yes.
Hello, Eric. Well, he's got the asbestos tree. Those are very, very valuable. They will not, no matter what kind of Christmas lights you put on them, they will not burn the house down. So they got that going for them. 1962, a guy bought 32 canvases of Campbell's soup from Andy Warhol. So Andy Warhol had his little exhibit with it. He paid $1,000 for the 32 and even got Warhol to take payments on it. He sold it in 1996 for $15 million. It's a pretty nice little return on investment there. But I guess when Warhol did that, he wasn't really a known artist. Little bola for you. Did you know you've seen the best children books? That's actually the title is the best children's books. You would have seen them, Stuart, any number of times. There's about 43 of them in a series. They'll be reprinting stories like just classic stories. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Black Beauty will be in some of them. They'll have like 8 stories, 10 stories in each book. 4 of them or 6 of them actually have Andy Warhol artwork in them. So there's your little bolo. The Andy Warhol ones go for about $25 to $35 each. The other ones go for about $5 each. So there you go. There's your bolo. You can own a actual Andy Warhol work. A few other things over here. Talking about Andy Warhol, did you see what happened on the yacht? Somebody had a sculpture by Andy Warhol of Brillo pants. The cleaner thought they were real Brillo pants, extra thing, and threw the box out. It's worth about $3 million.
What city do we need to go through the trash?
Right. And I will say this, Stuart, you are a little bit intimidating at times. I don't know if you were aware of that. Well, not just because I'm a deadbeat, but you're also a little bit intimidating. And I don't know if you've seen this or not, Johnny. I will make dumb jokes from time to time, and I will send them over to Stuart on Instagram. And sometimes he responds, and sometimes I feel like I just made a joke and Dad's mad at me and like, really, you're wasting my time with that? Because I'll make a really dumb joke, send it over, and then I hear nothing back from him. I'm like, whoops.
Stuart is the quintessential dad, you know? You just I sent this TikTok to my family, and it was all about what do you get your dad for Christmas? And it was a song, but it was singing about how, like, what do you buy for a stranger you've known your whole life?
And so I just always feel like, oh, Stuart's mad at me now. I won't make that joke again.
I don't know that I've ever been called intimidating before. Kind of like it.
Oh, coming up soon for you guys. We do the top 10 videos on Tuesdays. I have a top 10 video of Dolly Parton coming up soon.
Oh, visit Knoxville.com.
Exactly. Since you're always talking about Dollywood and Visit Knoxville and everything. So I want to get on that bandwagon and get all the Visit Knoxville people coming over to my top 10 Dolly Parton.
We're actually going to stop talking about reselling and only talk about Knoxville, Tennessee related things and just change format.
Nice. And I may actually be visiting you, Stuart, as Stuart's now moving. Supposed to be going down mid-December with a mysterious benefactor to a Tennessee Titans game. So maybe I'll swing on by and I'm looking for a 6-foot high aluminum tree. Do you know where I can get one?
Sure, just happened to. We're about 3 hours west or east of Nashville. So, but yeah, maybe you can swing over. That would be fun. Yeah, when you do your Dolly episode, let me know if you need a man on the street. I can go up to Dollywood. I have season tickets, and
Is that year round?
Well, they close from early January through about May, I think.
Okay.
Maybe they open in April. I think they open up in April. So yeah, there's a few months where they're not open.
Okay. Here's we're up north, so everything, none of the parks are year round up here. Oh, Johnny's real quick, and we've only got a few more things to talk about, and then we'll let you go as we're running just past an hour. Hopefully that's okay. Remember the little amusement park on Grand Island?
Yeah, of course. Martin's Fantasy Island.
That's closed. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it closed a couple of years, but it's still set up there. So I don't know if they're ever going to do a auction of the stuff or what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, we were up there for the first Bills game of the year, and we drove up to Niagara Falls and into Canada, and they were like, "What is that place?" And I was like, "Oh, what it was."
You got to see this place, Stuart. You would be able to describe it better than me, Johnny, but it's like this little island that's got this tiny amusement park. How many rides would that place have? 8 rides, 10 rides?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
8, 10 rides.
It looks like just like one of those pop up like in an old parking lot, like just little carnivals, but it's just been sitting there.
And you drive by on the highway and you always see it there and you're going, What is that? What is that? What is that?
There's probably some pretty cool like abandoned like YouTube videos of people like going onto the property.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, so I had a bit of a problem here where I bought and this is a little update from last week. I bought an air purifier on November 1st from Amazon. As of November 5th, the guy hadn't shipped it yet, and I reached out to him. He said, I'll be shipping it out in a couple of days. I said, okay. Then I reached out to him November 9th. It still hadn't shipped. And I said, just cancel my order. Well, it'll be shipping out in the next couple of days. It's low stock. I go, don't list things you don't have. I bought another one. I don't need it. Cancel it. So he ended up canceling it. And I did buy another one. And this was actually on Amazon from Amazon. Just got an email today. Your shipping has been delayed. I said, really? So if you're looking for a bolo, apparently air purifiers are very, very hot things right now.
Is that why you're high up in the mountains right now? You needed that fresh air?
I did. I had to come up here and it's cool, refreshing up here. Absolutely. And then we talked about this a while ago, but Star Trek phaser and communicator prop went up at auction. $1.7 million that sold for. That's crazy. I mean,
rich people are just so cool. I'm just
I don't even think the phaser worked. That's the crazy thing. 1.7 for an unworking phaser. I mean, it's like buying a lightsaber. It really doesn't work. Who would do that? Well, Taylor Swift making an appearance in the Bills-Chiefs game. That's what everybody wants to know. All right, I'm going to give a quick rambling story, and then we'll let you boys talk about whatever you want, and then we'll head on, mosey on out of here. So you'll probably enjoy this. Back at college, I went to Alfred University. I think you know where that is, Johnny. Southern Tier. And a mysterious manufacturer went there as well. And he was from Queens. And I don't know what he did. It might have been something, might have been during fraternity hazing. I'm not going to ask too many questions. Didn't really want to know. But he came in the one day and he said, you're not going to believe this. And you guys are sitting down. So this is pretty important. You guys are sitting down for this. It's going to probably shock you. He said, cows have hair. Were you aware of that? I guess not.
I feel like, right?
The cows have hair.
So the end of their tails have hair, don't they? That's how they knock the flies away.
All over their body, they have hair. And apparently he thought that cows were made out of like leather, that they were basically leather standing out.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got a couple of other city people over here that had no idea. And of course, I was laughing at them with everybody else because we were around a whole bunch of country kids that are going, of course, cows have hair. And I'm like, yeah, of course they do. And I'm like, they do? How would I know that?
Yeah, I always thought they did. But the way that you said that, I was thinking that they didn't. But yeah, no, yeah.
So we've learned some very valuable things tonight. We've learned that cows have hair.
This is good. I like it.
I would have called it fur on a cow. So.
Well, there you go. I used to do audits in my day job with farmers, and sometimes I would amaze them with the knowledge that I had. I would say, "You may not know this, but," and they would just kind of give me the same look I got from the two of you. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty advanced agricultural knowledge I had there. I guess not.
Yeah. Did they have chocolate milk cows or regular milk cows?
We didn't go that deep into it. I'll have to ask him at next time I see him on that over there. Maybe in Knoxville, maybe Stuart, if he comes down with me, you can take us over and we can see the chocolate milk cows.
We can go cow tipping.
There you go. There you go. All right, boys. Why don't you plug whatever it is you guys want to plug? Talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Stuart, go ahead.
All right. Well, as was mentioned, you can find Johnny and I. Usually, we release a new video every Wednesday, but our schedule over the next couple of weeks is a little bit up in the air. But we're over on the Finders Flippers Resell podcast channel.
Link down below.
And and he linked it. And I did also want to give a quick shout out to my friend Pat Dees. He's doing his annual toy drive. So if you go over to Pat Dees, the traveling picker on Instagram, you can get all the information. He also has a YouTube channel, but he sells these t-shirts. I think they're like $10 plus shipping, or you can donate toys or do whatever. But something he does every year, and I know he does a lot of good with that. So just wanted to give a quick plug to him. So
very good.
Go ahead, Are you going to promote your Franklin Hill Ventures?
Oh yeah, and you can go to franklinhillventures.com. Yeah. And that has links to all my social media and the different platforms I sell on, and to the Finders Flippers Resell podcast channel as well.
You may not be the best at promoting yourself, Stuart.
He's really passionate about it.
I see this.
Yeah, guys, and then Johnny, you can follow, obviously Stuart and I and Wes whenever he makes his appearances on the Finders Flippers Resell podcast. And if after that still you just can't get enough of me, my wife and I are over on Frizzy's Finds. She's much more enjoyable than I am, so come on over there too.
You set that bar pretty high. Yeah, much more enjoyable than you. Pretty high there. And of course, Mr. Magazine will be back next week, and do check him out over on Whatnot. You boys know that he used to hate Whatnot, right?
No, and he's on Whatnot now.
Oh my God, he wants to go 7 days a week. And he was telling me the other day, if he could hire enough people, he'd love to go 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
He is now the biggest proponent of Whatnot I've ever seen out there. And I'm laughing, and he's going, how come you didn't tell me about this before? I'm like, because I wanted to keep it from you, Mr. Magazine. Yeah, he absolutely loves it. He's selling on there as Mr. Magazine, MISTER Magazine. He's doing currently Thursday nights. Tomorrow night, he'll be doing comics. He does pop-up shows. And then he'll be doing records Saturday and Sunday, I believe 8 in the morning both days, or 8:15 in the morning both days, all times Eastern. And stop on by to see Papergoy tomorrow, 4 p.m. That's right, 4 p.m. 4:20. Toke up and get a Corn-fucious joke of the day. It's the best way to enjoy Corn-fucious. Selling over on Whatnot. We're selling books tomorrow. And then Saturday afternoon, part of a bookseller train, 4 to 4:20 p.m. as well. Maybe I can get through the train real quick and give you a Corn-fucious joke right on the way out the door. Something to look forward to. Can I do it? Stop on by. You never know. And like and subscribe, and do watch our guest videos as well. They're actually a lot of fun, really fun. Love their Halloween show. They didn't know what score bars were. Well, Stuart actually figured out they were Heath bars, like upscale Heath bars. You had to eat them with your pinky out. But a lot of fun talking about Halloween candy over there, and it was a really fun show. So you guys have a fun show over there. Absolutely love it. Hopefully at some point you'll have us on as well again.
We definitely will. We'd like to meet the ever elusive Mr. Magazine one time. So,
and everybody would like to see Wes, but hey, we all have dreams. All right, everybody, hit the like button if you could, and we'll see you next video.
Thanks, David.
I guess.